Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Andrew, this is the Extra Ammo channel, and today we're going back to talk more about my Springfield Kuna. And yes, that is snow on the ground. What a time to be in Maine. Let's get started. Slow-mo in the snow. Okay, so, got the Kuna again, still very much liking it. Put significantly more rounds through it, at least another 1,000. I have swapped up the brace, swapped up the sling, changed it back to the Kuna original grip, changed my laser up here, which now has a light in it. We'll talk more about that later. Same optic, same magazine, same lower, and same Atrius Super Selector. Same can, but with a different cover on it. And I think that this is just about as good as it's going to get for the time being. Definitely have restless carbine syndrome, like to change things around, but at this point I'm pretty confident it's going to stay like this for at least a little while. Alright, next up we'll shoot it, see how it groups, and go from there. Okay, mag's loaded up, subsonic 9mm, let's see where we're at. All right, let's see. Much easier to get a cheek weld with this and really just shoot the whole platform. That brace I had on it before was not awesome. And considering I probably threw this guy here, I'd say groups have improved, but that's probably just a factor of me shooting the gun more and getting a little bit more comfortable with it. I think it was always capable of doing this. I could just make it do that now. Still quiet, still able to hit what I'm aiming at. So far, I'm still liking it. Hello, now we are at night. It's very dark, and we are out on the range, and I'm shooting my Kuna with the cool IR laser. So we'll get some footage of that, and hopefully it will be compelling content. Hooray! Okay, so now we're back inside, and I'm going to break down some of the things I have changed and some of the things I have kept the same on my Springfield Armory Kuna. Right out here in front, I still have the Cat MOB suppressor. Now, I have added one of these burn-proof gear suppressor covers to the front. This can get a little bit warm when you're shooting it in super semi-automatic mode, but not extremely so. However, I was having a conversation with one of my colleagues, and they were like, wow, you should really have a cover on there. And I was like, well, 9mm, do I really need it? And they're like, no, it just looks cool. And remember, everyone, looking cool is half the battle when it comes to internet gun stuff. So I had to put it on there because it looks cool, and yeah, it does function well. They're a little bit on the pricier side, but this does keep the heat off of my body and my hands, and that's a good thing. Moving backwards, Holosun Iris 4, the new one. Not only is that a visible green laser and a infrared laser and an infrared illuminator, this one has a new party trick, which is a white light as well. As I mentioned in the last video, I kind of just love adding everything to guns. This has a lot of functionality, just about everything I usually put in the front of a gun. And I am going to do a more in-depth video on this, probably next. But so far, I really like this. I really like the functionality and how it performs. And more testing is necessary, but at this point, I think this is a huge win for Holosun. Moving backwards from that, it is the same Holosun Optic. So I'm all Holosunned up on this gun now. I still like it. it's the AEMS Pro, it's still the gold dot version, it's still on a Scalarworks mount. Works well in night vision, has a kill flash anti-reflection device in the front, which is good. And in general, it's continuing to be a red dot. As for back here, this is a Haga Defense folding brace with a Gear Headworks Tailhook mounted to the back. Now that lets you grab the gun and be supported, right? It's an arm brace, which actually is, I would say, probably one of the most functional actual arm braces that I've ever used. It does have the ability to extend or retract for, you know, arm bracing convenience, and this one has an adjustable cheek weld for some reason. I don't use it mostly because I actually have one of these on another firearm, perhaps a spoiler for another video, a SIG Rattler. And if you were to run this in the high configuration when you charge it, it would cause problems. So I've just gotten in the habit of running it without the cheek weld component raised. Down below, I still have the Nexus lower here. Still takes the Scorpion mags, haven't changed anything there about the trigger or the Atrius Super Selector. But down here, I actually did swap back to the grip that came on the Kuna from the factory. One of you commenters, and yes, I do read the comments, so go down there after subscribing to the channel, mentioned that they were curious as to whether or not this would fit with the factory Kuna grip. I said I didn't know. I said I didn't like this on the regular Kuna, but I was curious. So I put it on here. It does fit, and I discovered actually I kind of like it in this configuration. This grip does have a little storage compartment in the bottom. I really like on-gun spare batteries for your lights, your lasers, and your optic, and this lets you do that, and that's pretty cool. Other than that, I haven't changed anything in the bottom, and I have added up here one of the Flux Defense rapid deploy slings. The way that this works is it's actually a fairly basic single point sling. And what's clever about this is there's just this little elastic pocket that you can kind of shove it into. So when you stick this in a bag, especially when you fold the brace up like so, if I can get it, yep, fold it up like so. This just sort of hangs out. And that's super cool because when it's hanging out, it doesn't get caught on anything. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you have a loose sling in a bag, it has always been my frustration and experience that it gets caught on something. It's like magic. If it's in there, it's gonna get caught on whatever it possibly can. This keeps it out of the way and still allows me to just basically yank on it, which I won't do because getting it back in there is a little bit of a pain. I don't feel like doing that right now. You just pull on it and it gives you a loop. It allows me to keep this tool on my person. Don't particularly love single point slings, but this is one of those things where if you're going to be using, you know, a particular weapon system with a particular use case, sometimes you get a compromise on things. This is, I think, a great compromise to make because I know a lot of people who will do bag guns that just won't have a sling, will have the sling completely disconnected, and being able to sling your firearm if you need your hands, or have it attached to you if, you know, a bad actor wants to take it from you, is a really good idea. So I think that these are great. I think you should pick one of these up if you're running a bag gun, because this is a clever concept, and I'm really into it. Now, as for what I think of the gun, now that I've put well over another 1,000 rounds in it, I still like it. I still like it very much. It's definitely becoming one of my favorite guns. As for reliability and performance, it's done very, very well, and it should, right? It's a roller delayed 9mm carbine. They work if you don't really mess them up. It works. It tends to work very well in the Super Selector mode, and the only real thing I have noticed, and I don't know if this is getting worse or I'm just getting annoyed so I notice it more, is that when you have a full magazine, it's rather hard to seat them in here. You really kind of gotta want it quite a bit to get it to lock in sometimes. I don't know if that is a design of the angle here. It has to be it has to do with the Nexus lower, or if it's I don't know, a product of just a bunch of things coming together here, because I've never really had that issue on my Scorpions, which were designed to take this magazine. So whatever the cause of it may be, it kind of seems like that is something you have to be aware of. I can't tell you how many times I would go for a reload, and, you know, in the process of a reload, I'll always insert the magazine and then give it a tug, make sure it's locked in. I know it takes an extra, I don't know, half a second. That's something I build in because I don't like being embarrassed by the mag not being locked in. So when I'm doing that, I would say maybe a third of the time, if not more, I get a full magazine and it's just not locked in. And then that sparks me to have to go, hit the bottom, then check again. It slows down the reload process. Outside of me taking a Dremel to my magazines, I'm not sure if I can really fix that problem. But working through reloads, especially a sort of emergency reload, I guess you would say, where the bolt is locked to the rear, does not seem to have that problem. And as long as I'm aware of it, I can work around it. Considering how many rounds I've put through this, considering how much time I now have on it, that seems to be the only thing I can really call out as a serious problem. And if that's the only thing that's a problem, I guess I don't really have that much to complain about. Other than that, I think that I am going to keep shooting this. I'm certainly going to be testing this up here some more, and hopefully I will eventually get to a point where I can tell you about some sort of catastrophic failure on this, because otherwise it kind of just seems like maybe I am a Springfield Kuna shill, which I am obviously, and very specifically not. Only thing else I will say here right now, guys, is that I do read and try to respond to most of the comments, so if you have any questions on this or anything else, put it down below. Right now, what the channel really needs is some more subscribers, so if you're new here, just go ahead and click that subscribe button. Okay, I'm trying to put out compelling content, and if you've gotten to this point in the video, I would assume you find it at least partially compelling, or you've, you know, fallen asleep or walked away, which, thanks, because I'll still get the view from it. But regardless of any of that, I have been Andrew. This is the Extra Ammo channel, and thank you for coming to my lead talk. See you next time.